Moving on to your story.
Yeah.
So, what made you to come to Korea after you graduating Virginia Military Institute? Because I heard that place is one of the most renowned military institutes in the U.S. But what made you to come to Korea?
So it's a bit of a complicated story. I want to clarify. So I wanted to be a U.S. naval officer ever since I was a kid, and I found out that I was a foreigner by applying to the U.S. Naval Academy, and I think that was my junior year of high school. They got back to me. They were like, "Did you know that you're not American? You're a foreigner." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm American." And then we got into a fight. We got into an argument because I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I grew up as an American, and this guy is saying that I'm a foreigner, so I was offended. So I talked to my parents, and I'm like, "What's going on? Who am I?" And my parents then explained the situation because, I didn't know. I didn't really have a passport or anything like that. I didn't go overseas as a kid, so and that's when I did know, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll get my American citizenship. So I was like, I have to go to college anyways, and forget the Naval Academy. I'm going to go to a better school. So I said, I'm going to the Virginia Military Institute because I heard they're tougher. And then during my college years, that's when my parents were like, don't go to the U.S. military because you have Korean blood. And at first I was like, my parents are preaching again. But over the years, I started to think really hard about my future. And, it wasn't an easy decision, but eventually I decided that I had to go the Korean SEAL route because my father would talk about, because I was born in Korea, that I am Korean, I shouldn't forget that. And eventually I agreed with it. And, the nationality part is very important, I think, because as a military officer, you're fighting for your country. When I entered the military in 2007, March.
In Korea?
Yeah. I entered in March, got commissioned in July, and when we get commissioned, we swear in. Basically, you're making a promise to your country. That's the first time that I felt that I had a country. Before that, I had to deal with so much racism in the U.S. When people tell you that, you're not American and they tell you to go to China and they make fun of your eyes, it's like, man, am I really American?